Hi friends, Pastry Chef Danny here, and today we are going to learn how to make pate choux dough. Cream puffs. Let's get started. And as always, I have my mise en place prepared. What I'm making today is a half recipe of the pate choux dough. However, the full recipe will be in the description below. So first we're going to add our water to the saucepan. And then we're also going to add our butter as well, and we're going to turn the heat on to a medium-high heat. We want that butter to melt uniformly across the pan. Every once in a while, I like to give this a stir just to make sure that the butter is moving and melting. Next, I'm going to add in my salt and give that a stir with the butter. Once the butter is all melted, we're going to take the heat and we're going to turn that up on high, and we're going to bring this mixture to a boil. Now that my butter and water have come to a boil, I'm going to add in my flour. And I'm going to stir this until this comes together and almost forms a paste. And I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit. What you're going to do is you're going to just keep mixing this. This will all come together. All those lumps in the flour will start to work out. And we want to cook this until we see a film at the bottom of the saucepan. Now that our dough is all cooked, we're going to add this to our mixer, and we're going to turn this on medium speed and watch all the steam come out of the dough. Next, we're going to start to add our eggs. We're going to add the eggs one at a time on a slow speed. Once you see that the egg is fully incorporated, then you're going to go ahead and add in your next egg. Now that I have all of the eggs in, I'm going to switch this to a higher speed. That way the eggs can fully incorporate. Your dough might be a little too dry, you can always add some additional egg. I took another egg and I whipped it up, and I'm just going to add just a little bit and start to blend it again. Your mix should look something like this. You should be pulling off the sides, but additionally you could do what we call the string test, which is if you were to pinch the dough and then stretch it out. If you notice that the dough is not breaking right away, you know that your mix is perfect. So we're going to put this in a piping bag and start to pipe out our dough for the oven. So filling a piping bag, I usually roll down the sides. I make sure that I open up the piping bag, but I also help hold the bag with my hand underneath the plastic. Let's start to fill. So by holding my hand, now I can go ahead and just use my thumb as something to hold the bag in place, but also wipe off my spatula. Now that I have my piping bag filled, I lined my sheet pan with a silicone pad, or if you do not have one of these, you can also use parchment paper. I prefer the silicone pad just because it reduces the waste. Starting on one side of the sheet pan, I'm going to go ahead and take my dough and hold my piping bag in one spot and then pipe my dough. Let's do another one. You want to leave about 1.5 inches of space in between. These won't actually grow out, they'll grow up, and they'll puff out just a little bit, and you don't want them to touch. If you find that you have pointy tops, what you can do is you can go ahead and just flatten those out with your finger. My hands are clean. Next, these go in the oven at 400 degrees for 20 minutes, and then we'll come back to lower the temperature to 350 degrees. Don't forget to set a timer. I just lowered the oven to 350 degrees, and now we will put that in for another 20 minutes. Last but not least, we dropped the temperature down to 300 so the cream puffs can go ahead and dry out inside. 10 minutes. Once they're done, you're gonna pull one out of the oven and then put them on a wire rack and let them cool. And once they are nice and cool, you can go ahead and fill them with your pastry cream or whipped cream, but your insides should be very hollow. This is actually still really warm, as you can see the steam coming off of it, but you can see the inside is completely hollow and great for filling. Once again, I'm Pastry Chef Danny, and thank you for joining me. Next time we'll learn something different, or we'll continue on with what we could do with these cream puffs. Bon appetit! So I like to take my cream puff and add a little ice cream from a local shop here in Orlando, Florida, and I have the perfect little dessert. Bon appetit!